Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. How many times have you started your day with big plans, thinking today I'm going to be productive, only to end up getting distracted, overwhelmed, or just plain tired? You had the energy, the motivation, maybe even a to-do list, but by the end of the day, you felt like you didn't get much done. Sound familiar? That's because productivity isn't about working harder. It's not even about working longer hours. It's about working smarter. And the only way to work smarter is to have a system, a real structured way to get things done without relying on motivation alone. You see, motivation is like your phone battery. It runs out fast. One moment you're fired up and ready to go, and the next you're scrolling through your phone, lost in distractions. That's why successful people don't depend on motivation. They build habits, routines, and systems that make productivity automatic. They don't waste time wondering what to do next. They already know. They don't fight distractions all day. They set up their environment to eliminate them. They don't try to do everything at once. They focus on the right tasks that bring real results. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. How to build a productivity system that works for you. A system that makes sure you stay on track, even when you don't feel like working. A system that removes stress, eliminates wasted time, and helps you get things done faster and better. So stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to take control of your time, your work, and your success. Let's get to it. Most people believe that productivity comes down to motivation and willpower. They think if they just push themselves harder, if they just stay motivated long enough, they'll be able to get everything done. But here's the truth. Willpower doesn't last. It's like a muscle. It gets tired. You can wake up in the morning feeling determined, but by the time the afternoon rolls around, distractions, fatigue, and unexpected problems will drain that energy. If you rely on willpower alone, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's why successful people don't depend on willpower. They build systems. A system is what keeps you productive, even when you don't feel like working. It's what makes sure you stay on track no matter how you're feeling. Think about the most disciplined and successful people you know. They don't wake up every morning trying to figure out what to do next. They don't waste time deciding when to start working or what to work on. They already have a plan, a schedule, and a process that makes productivity automatic. Take a moment and think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do it every morning, do you? You don't sit there debating whether or not you should brush your teeth. You just do it. Why? Because it's a habit. It's part of your routine. You've trained yourself to do it without thinking. That's exactly how productivity should work. When you have a system in place, you don't have to wake up every day trying to force yourself to work. You just follow the process you've already set up. Now, what does building a system actually look like? First, you need structure. You can't just work whenever you feel like it. You need a schedule that tells you exactly when to start, what to focus on, and when to take breaks. If you leave things up to chance, distractions will take over. The mind will always look for the easy way out. Watching TV, checking social media, doing anything but the important work. But when you have a clear system, it removes the decision-making process. You don't have to think about what to do next because it's already planned out. Second, you need to eliminate unnecessary decisions. Every day you waste mental energy on small choices. What to wear, what to eat, when to check emails. The more decisions you have to make, the more drained your brain becomes. That's why many highly productive people simplify their daily choices. Some people wear the same type of outfit every day so they don't waste time picking clothes. Some people eat the same breakfast every morning so they don't have to think about it. The less time you spend on small decisions, the more energy you have to focus on what truly matters. Another key part of a strong productivity system is automation. If you have to manually remember every task, deadline, or appointment, you're setting yourself up for stress. Instead, use tools to keep yourself organized. Use calendars, to-do lists, or apps that remind you of what needs to be done. The less you have to rely on memory, the more mental space you free up for creative and important work. Let's talk about the power of routines. When you do something at the same time every day, it becomes automatic. If you train yourself to start working at a set time, your brain gets used to it. Eventually, it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. The hardest part of getting anything done is often just getting started. But when you have a routine in place, there's no decision to make, you just do it. It's also important to create an environment that supports your system. If you're trying to focus while your phone is buzzing, the TV is playing, and people are constantly interrupting you, you're making productivity harder than it needs to be. Set up a workspace that minimizes distractions. Put your phone in another room if you need to. Use noise-canceling headphones. Make sure your environment is designed to help you stay focused, not pull you away from your work. Finally, the most powerful systems include accountability. When no one is watching, it's easy to procrastinate. But when you have someone holding you accountable, whether it's a mentor, a friend, or even just a written plan, you're more likely to stick with your goals. That's why many people find success with productivity partners, masterminds, or even just writing down their goals in a visible place. When you make a commitment to yourself and others, you increase your chances of following through. Building a productivity system isn't about making your life rigid or robotic. It's about making success easier. It's about setting yourself up in a way that allows you to be productive without needing to constantly push yourself. The most successful people in the world aren't working harder, they're working smarter. Instead of relying on motivation, which fades, they've built routines, structures, and environments that keep them moving forward no matter what. So, if you're tired of feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unproductive, stop relying on willpower. Stop waiting for the right moment to take action. Start building a system that works for you, a system that makes success a habit. A system that keeps you on track even on days when you don't feel like showing up, because the truth is, discipline beats motivation every single time. Most people think that working harder is the key to getting things done, but the truth is, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. You can put in all the hours in the world, but if you don't have the right focus, you'll end up exhausted with little to show for it. That's why a strong productivity system isn't just about getting things done, it's about getting the right things done. And the only way to do that is by prioritizing high-impact tasks over low-value activities. Think about your day. How much time do you spend on things that truly move the needle? How much of your time goes towards work that actually gets you closer to your goals? If you're honest with yourself, you'll probably realize that a lot of what you do isn't as important as it seems. Answering emails, attending unnecessary meetings, checking social media. These things make you feel like you're being productive, but in reality, they're distractions. They eat up time without delivering real results. Successful people don't waste time on busy work. They focus on high-impact tasks. the tasks that bring the most value, the tasks that push them forward, the tasks that actually matter. If you want to be truly productive, you need to separate what's urgent from what's important. Just because something demands your attention doesn't mean it's valuable. A ringing phone might feel urgent, but if answering it doesn't contribute to your bigger goals, it's just noise. The same goes for emails, notifications, and requests from other people. If you're always reacting to what's urgent, you'll never have time to focus on what's important. The secret to making real progress is learning to say no to low-value activities. If a task doesn't move you closer to your goals, it's a distraction. That doesn't mean you should ignore everything else in life, but it does mean you should protect your time. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that truly matters. And time is the one thing you can't get back. If you don't control it, other people will. Now, you might be thinking, but I have so much to do, I can't just ignore everything, and you're right. But the key isn't to do everything, the key is to do the right things. You have to be ruthless about where you put your energy. The best way to do that is by using the 80/20 rule. This rule states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. That means most of what you're doing isn't actually getting you results. Your job is to figure out which 20% of your work creates the most impact, and then focus on that. Let's say you're running a business. You might spend hours every day answering emails, tweaking your website, or organizing files. But if those things aren't driving sales or growing your business, they aren't high-impact tasks. Instead, your time would be better spent on things like marketing, closing deals, or building relationships, things that actually generate results. The same applies whether you're a student, an employee, or an entrepreneur. Whatever your goal is, you have to identify the few key activities that drive the most progress and put your energy there. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with productivity is because they let their day control them instead of the way around. They wake up, check their phone, see a bunch of messages and emails, and immediately start reacting to other people's needs. Before they know it, the day is over and they've barely made progress on what they needed to do. If you want to get ahead, you can't let your schedule be dictated by other people's demands. You have to start your day with intention. That means planning your high-impact tasks before the distractions come in. One of the simplest and most effective ways to do this is by using a daily power list. Every morning or the night before, write down the top 3 to 5 tasks that will create the biggest impact on your goals. These are your must-do tasks, the tasks that, if completed, will make your day successful no matter what else happens. Then focus on knocking these out before anything else. No checking emails, no scrolling social media, no wasting time on things that don't matter. Just focus on what's going to bring real results. Another key to prioritizing high-impact tasks is creating boundaries. If you're constantly being interrupted, you'll never get deep work done. Successful people know how to protect their time. That means setting clear work hours, turning off notifications, and creating an environment that allows them to focus. It also means learning to say no. If someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your priorities, you have to be willing to decline. It's not about being rude. It's about valuing your time and making sure it's spent on what truly matters. At the end of the day, productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing better. It's about making sure that every hour you put in is actually getting you somewhere. Too many people mistake movement for progress. They think that just because they're busy, they're being productive. But busyness is a trap. If what you're doing isn't producing real results, it's just wasted effort. So if you want to be productive, stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Stop letting distractions steal your focus. Stop saying yes to things that don't serve your goals. Instead, identify the high-impact tasks that create real results, commit to them, and give them your full attention. When you do this, you'll realize you don't need to work longer hours. You just need to work smarter. And when you work smarter, you don't just get things done. You get the right things done. And that's what separates successful people from everyone else. Most people think productivity is about doing as much as possible in a day. But that's not true. It's not about how much you do. It's about what you accomplish. You don't need to fill your schedule with endless tasks just to feel busy. Real productivity means making sure your time is spent on things that truly matter. That's why tracking your progress and making adjustments is one of the most important parts of building a productivity system. If you don't measure what you're doing, you won't know what's working. And if you don't know what's working, you won't know what to improve. Imagine driving a car without a speedometer, a fuel gauge, or a GPS. You wouldn't know how fast you're going, how much gas you have left, or whether you're even heading in the right direction. That's exactly what happens when you don't track your progress. You might feel like you're moving forward, but without measuring your results, you could be wasting time on things that aren't actually getting you where you need to go. The first step in tracking progress is setting clear goals. If you don't have a target, you won't know if you're hitting it. Your goals should be specific, measurable, and realistic. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful or I want to get more done. What does that actually mean? Do you want to complete 5 major projects this month? Do you want to earn a certain amount of money? Do you want to lose weight, gain muscle, or improve your skills? The clearer your goal, the easier it will be to track your progress. Once you have a goal, you need a way to measure it. If your goal is to grow your business, track your revenue, customer engagement, or sales numbers. If your goal is to improve your health, track your workouts, diet, or weight. If your goal is to learn a new skill, track the time you spend practicing and the progress you're making. Tracking keeps you accountable. It shows you whether you're moving forward, staying stagnant, or falling behind. But tracking your progress isn't just about numbers. It's also about looking at how you feel and how efficient your process is. You might be putting in the hours, but are you actually making progress? Are you getting results, or are you just staying busy? Sometimes we get so caught up in our routine that we don't stop to see if what we're doing is actually working. That's why you need to step back and evaluate your efforts regularly. A simple way to do this is by setting a time each week to review your progress. Look at what you accomplished, what challenges you faced, and what you need to adjust. Did you spend too much time on unimportant tasks? Did you procrastinate? Did you waste energy on things that didn't move you forward? Be honest with yourself. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to improve. Once you identify what's working and what's not, it's time to make adjustments. If something is helping you reach your goals, double down on it. If something is slowing you down, cut it out or find a better way to do it. Maybe you realize that certain habits are holding you back, like checking your phone every 5 minutes, saying yes to too many distractions, or not having a clear plan for your day. Small changes can make a big difference. Another key part of tracking progress is celebrating small wins. Most people wait until they reach their big goal to feel accomplished, but that's a mistake. If you only focus on the end result, you'll get discouraged along the way. Instead, recognize the progress you're making, even if it's small. Did you finish an important project? Did you improve your productivity? Did you complete your most important tasks for the day? Celebrate those wins. Progress is progress no matter how small. But don't let small wins make you complacent. Too many people get comfortable after a little success and slow down. The goal isn't just to make progress, it's to keep improving. There's always another level to reach. Tracking your progress isn't just about seeing how far you've come. It's about figuring out how to get even better. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they don't need to adjust their approach. They find something that works and stick with it forever. But the truth is, what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. If you're not constantly evaluating and improving, you'll fall behind. Successful people don't just work hard, they work smart. They pay attention to what's working. They make changes when necessary, and they never stop improving. At the end of the day, productivity isn't just about effort, it's about effectiveness. You can work hard all day, but if you're not tracking your progress and making adjustments, you'll never reach your full potential. So don't just go through the motions, set clear goals, measure your results, evaluate your efforts, and always look for ways to improve. That's how you build a productivity system that actually works. Most people think that success is about working harder, but the truth is success is about working smarter. A good productivity system isn't just about doing more, it's about making sure that what you're doing actually moves you forward. That's why having a structured daily plan is one of the most important things you can do. If you wake up every day without a clear plan, you'll spend most of your time reacting instead of progressing. You'll be busy, but you won't be productive. You'll jump from one thing to another, handling whatever seems urgent in the moment, but at the end of the day, you won't feel like you truly accomplished anything meaningful. That's why having a structured daily plan is a game changer. It helps you take control of your time, focus on what matters, and get real results. The first step in creating a structured daily plan is to know exactly what you need to accomplish. Most people wake up and just go with the flow, handling things as they come. That's a recipe for wasted time. Instead, take a few minutes either the night before or first thing in the morning to decide what your top priorities are. Don't just create a long to-do list filled with busy work. Identify the key things that will make the biggest impact on your goals. Maybe it's finishing a major project, making important sales calls, practicing a skill, or focusing on your health. Whatever it is, make sure you know exactly what needs to get done. Once you have your priorities set, you need to structure your day in a way that maximizes your focus and energy. Not all hours in the day are equal. Some people are most productive in the morning, while others do their best work at night. Pay attention to when you have the most energy and focus, and schedule your most important tasks during that time. Don't waste your best hours on checking emails, scrolling social media, or handling minor tasks. Protect your peak productivity time and use it wisely. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with productivity is that they don't manage their time well. They either try to do too much at once, or they don't give themselves enough time to focus on important work. Multitasking is one of the biggest productivity killers. When you try to do multiple things at once, you end up doing everything poorly. Your brain has to constantly switch between tasks, and that slows you down. Instead, focus on one thing at a time. Give it your full attention, get it done, and then move on to the next thing. This simple shift will make you far more productive. Another key part of having a structured daily plan is setting boundaries. Too many people let distractions control their day. They leave their phone notifications on, say yes to every request, and let other people's priorities take over their schedule. If you don't set boundaries, you'll always feel busy but never feel in control. Create blocks of time in your day when you eliminate distractions. Put your phone on silent, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and let people know when you're unavailable. Give yourself focused work time so you can actually make progress. A good daily plan also includes breaks. A lot of people think they need to grind nonstop to be productive, but that's not how the brain works. If you push yourself too hard without breaks, you'll burn out, lose focus, and become less efficient. Short breaks help reset your mind and keep you fresh. But be intentional about your breaks. Don't just scroll social media or watch TV. Get up, stretch, take a walk, or do something that recharges you. One of the best ways to stay on track is to set deadlines for yourself. When you give yourself unlimited time to complete a task, it will take longer than it should. But when you set a clear deadline, you force yourself to focus and work more efficiently. Even if a task doesn't have a hard deadline, create one for yourself. Tell yourself, I'm going to finish this by noon, or I'll complete this project by Friday. Deadlines create urgency and keep you accountable. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review what you accomplished and plan for the next day. This helps you stay on top of your progress and make adjustments when needed. Ask yourself, did I complete my most important tasks? What worked well? What could I do better? Reflecting on your day helps you learn from your mistakes and improve your productivity system over time. A structured daily plan isn't about being rigid or overloading yourself with tasks. It's about giving yourself a clear roadmap so you can stay focused and productive. When you start each day with a plan, you eliminate wasted time, reduce stress, and make sure you're always moving forward. Success isn't about luck. It's about having a system that helps you win every single day. Most people think productivity is about doing more, but real productivity is about doing the right things at the right time. A key part of building a strong productivity system is tracking your progress and making adjustments along the way. It's not enough to set goals and create a plan. You need to make sure you're actually moving forward. Many people start strong but lose momentum because they don't check in with themselves. They assume they're making progress, but they don't have a way to measure it. If you're not tracking your progress, you could be spending a lot of time and effort on things that aren't actually helping you reach your goals. That's why tracking is so important. It keeps you accountable, helps you stay focused, and gives you the clarity you need to make smart decisions. One of the simplest ways to track progress is by setting measurable goals. A vague goal like, I want to be successful or I want to be more productive, won't help you stay on track. You need something specific. If you're working on a project, set deadlines for key milestones. If you're building a new habit, track how many days in a row you stick with it. If you're improving your skills, measure your improvement over time. The more specific you are, the easier it will be to see if you're actually making progress. Another powerful way to track progress is by keeping a daily or weekly record of what you accomplish. Too often, people get caught up in the day-to-day grind and don't realize how much they're actually getting done. But when you write things down, you create a clear picture of your efforts. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review what you worked on. Did you complete your most important tasks? Did you make progress on your big goals? If not, what got in the way? When you track your progress daily, you start to see patterns in your productivity. You'll notice what's working and what's slowing you down. One of the best ways to keep yourself accountable is by setting check-in points. Instead of waiting until a project is done to see if you're on track, set a time to review your progress along the way. Maybe you check in every Friday to see how your week went. Maybe you set reminders every 2 weeks to make sure you're moving in the right direction. These check-ins force you to stop and evaluate whether you're using your time wisely. If you notice you're off track, you can make adjustments before it's too late. Tracking progress isn't just about knowing what you did. It's also about making sure you're improving. The goal isn't just to be busy. The goal is to get better. If you're working on a skill, measure how much you've improved. If you're in business, track how your efforts are affecting your results. If you're developing a habit, look at how consistent you've been. The only way to grow is to keep pushing yourself to improve, and that starts with tracking where you are right now. One of the biggest benefits of tracking your progress is that it helps you stay motivated. When you see proof that you're moving forward, you feel inspired to keep going. A lot of people give up because they don't see instant results. But if you track your progress, you'll realize that even small steps add up over time. Success isn't about massive leaps. It's about consistent effort. Seeing your progress reminds you that all your hard work is paying off. Of course, there will be times when you don't see the progress you want. That's why tracking is so important. If you're not getting the results you expected, don't just assume you're failing. Look at what's happening and figure out why. Maybe you need to adjust your approach. Maybe you need to focus on different tasks. Maybe you need to eliminate distractions that are slowing you down. Tracking your progress helps you catch problems early so you can fix them instead of wasting time going in the wrong direction. Another reason tracking matters is that it helps you build confidence. When you can look back and see everything you've accomplished, it reminds you that you're capable of achieving your goals. A lot of people doubt themselves because they don't recognize how far they've come. But when you track your progress, you create proof. The best productivity systems aren't just about working hard, they're about working smart. Tracking your progress is a smart way to make sure you're always moving in the right direction. It helps you stay focused, make better decisions, and keep your motivation high. When you track your progress consistently, you don't have to guess if you're getting closer to your goals. You know for sure. And when you know for sure, there's nothing stopping you from going all the way. A strong productivity system isn't just about working harder. It's about making sure your system actually works for you. The best system is the one that helps you stay focused, organized, and consistent without feeling overwhelmed. A lot of people think they need to follow someone else's method exactly, but the truth is, what works for one person may not work for another. That's why you have to keep refining your system until you find the right balance. Productivity isn't about perfection, it's about constant improvement. You don't build the perfect system overnight. You create something, test it, see what works, and then make changes along the way. The key is to stay flexible and open to adjusting your approach whenever necessary. One of the biggest mistakes people make is setting up a system and assuming it will work forever. Life changes, priorities shift. What worked for you last year might not work for you today. That's why it's important to regularly evaluate your productivity system and ask yourself, is this helping me get the results I want? If not, what needs to change? Maybe your schedule needs adjusting. Maybe your priorities have shifted. Maybe the way you organize your tasks isn't as effective as it used to be. The best productivity systems evolve over time. You have to be willing to tweak things, drop what doesn't work, and try new approaches when needed. A good way to refine your system is by paying attention to what slows you down. If you constantly feel overwhelmed, something needs to change. If you keep procrastinating, your system might not be motivating enough. If you're always busy but not seeing results, you might be focusing on the wrong things. Don't ignore these signals. They're telling you that your system needs adjusting. Instead of forcing yourself to stick to something that's not working, take a step back and figure out what's causing the problem. The goal of a productivity system isn't to make you work harder, it's to make your work easier and more effective. Another thing to consider is whether your system fits your natural workflow. Some people work best in short bursts of intense focus, while others prefer longer, uninterrupted sessions. Some people thrive with detailed schedules, while others need flexibility. The best productivity system is the one that matches the way you naturally work. If you're trying to force yourself into a system that doesn't suit your personality, it's going to feel like a struggle every day. Pay attention to your energy levels, your focus patterns, and the way you naturally approach tasks. Use that information to shape a system that feels right for you. It's also important to check whether your productivity system aligns with your long-term goals. A lot of people get caught up in daily tasks and forget to step back and see the bigger picture. You might be getting a lot done, but is it moving you toward your ultimate vision? A great productivity system doesn't just keep you busy, it keeps you on track. That's why it's important to check in regularly and make sure your efforts are actually leading you where you want to go. If your system isn't helping you make real progress, then it's time to change it. One of the best ways to refine your system is by simplifying it. Productivity doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the more complex your system is, the harder it will be to stick with it. If you have too many tools, too many rules, or too many steps in your process, you're going to spend more time managing your system than actually getting things done. A simple, clear system is easier to follow and more effective in the long run. Cut out anything that isn't truly helping you. Focus on the essentials. A great productivity system is one that feels natural, not one that feels like extra work.